Thanks for joining me here again at Hawkeye's House of Horrors. I'm Hawkeye, and moving along in the Slumber Party Massacre series of films. I'm doing now Slumber Party Massacre 3. Uh, Sorry, once again, my board's too small to put it on there. It's not supposed to say spam or something like that, but this is Slumber Party Massacre 3. And see what I feel about this. Um, yeah, right out of the chute, I'll say definitely the first one is the best one so far. And of the first three, still need to get to the remake. It is actually the only one I would even recommend. But going along here, this film was once again like the other two were. Um, it was written and directed by women. So it was directed by Sally Matheson, and this was actually the only film she ended up directing. She was a producer and ended up producing many other films. And it was also produced and written by Catherine Searin. She directed quite a few other things and wrote other things too. One that I had seen, excuse me, that she had worked on was she was a writer for Blood Fist 2. Uh, didn't really like that one, but that was a martial arts flick from the late 80s, I do believe. Now, this was distributed by New Concord, so Roger Corman is back to bring us another Slumber Party Massacre with his company. And it was released on September the 7th, 1990. Now, this baby had a budget of $350,000, so it had a lower budget than the previous film. Um, I guess you could see why the other film did make its money, but it didn't perhaps make quite as much as they were hoping for, as the original really made money at the box office. Now, in today's dollars, 2025, that would be a budget of only $860,000. So not even $1 million budget in today's times. Now it made 1.2 million, or today 3 million, just under 3 million at the box office. So it did pretty well. It had a limited release at the theaters as well, so it wasn't in every theater, obviously, but did pretty well. Now this one's pretty long for a Slumber Party Massacre movie. It is 87 minutes long, so it's like 10 minutes longer than the last one. Um, and as I said, uh, how I rate films doesn't depend on how much nudity is in the film. This one's got more nudity than the last one, and I actually think it is maybe better than the last one. What it comes down to, and I think the difference for me is it is grounded. The last one wasn't grounded, and maybe that's why some people gravitate towards that or are fans of the previous Slumber Party Massacre. But this one is grounded like the first one. So you have a real life driller killer coming to a slumber party to, well, create a massacre, if you will. So now getting into the story, and I guess from the start, we meet our characters on a suspiciously empty beach. We come to realize, or I came to realize, maybe that's because this was filmed in January. But a empty beach, they're playing volleyball, and of course, it's a Slumber Party Massacre movie, so we're gonna get a bunch of attractive women together to have a slumber party. So that's the plan that takes shape while these people are at the beach. And our main character is Jackie, played by Keely Christian. Um, and this slumber party is going to be at her house, and she's actually in the process of moving out of the house. Um, yeah, and it's sort of, I don't know within the story if they really needed to go a little further with the house being for sale. I know it's for sale, and I don't know, like once the movie gets going, it's never really brought up again or really matters. I don't know, but her house is for sale. So the ladies arrive to eat chocolate, and a couple of them are going to get into some awkward kissing scenes too. There's a bit of that in this film. And don't forget, they're going to partay as well. So this time there are six women. There were supposed to be seven, but right near the beginning of the film, Sarah has a problem in her car. Uh-oh, so she doesn't show up. She doesn't bring the food. Uh-oh, so they're gonna have to order pizza, I guess. Oh, and I guess as well, careful, the music is being turned up. So there's going to be some stripping happening now. Of course. I mean, why not? Isn't that usually what happens? Of course. Then, of course, the dorky boys show up, you know, uninvited. Of course, while the strip show is going on, when else would they show up? And now one of the guys, he's the boyfriend, new boyfriend of Jackie. His name is Frank, played by David Lawrence. I would say he's an interesting character within the Slumber Party Massacre films as a guy because he's actually, I'm going to say, a good guy. He actually seems like a guy I could hang out with, maybe have a beer with, chill out, hang out with. I don't know. He's a good guy, but it, it's pretty rare in these films to have a male character like that. And his buddies are just horny, booby watching boys, who are like every other male character in these films. And so yeah, like once again, just like the last one, this is a different take on the driller killer slasher, right? Um, so this one is more. I'll get to that in a sec here, but it's a who done it. So you have to figure out who the driller killer is, but they kind of, well, it's poorly done. They abandon that idea within like half an hour. So like you're not even in the final act yet, and you know who the killer is. And um, it's just there's not many, but it's got some bad red herrings in the film. For example, the creep at the beach, or the very creepy neighbor, or the creep on the phone who apparently does not know what an answering machine is. Um, all of these guys you can say when you're watching the film is there's no way this is the killer, um, until once you meet the creepy neighbor, you're like, okay, that guy is obviously a red herring, the guy at the beach, and this guy is obviously a red herring as well. um, yeah, and then yeah, as I said, within no time these guys get killed off, and then you know who the killer is. And I don't know, I just think it was poorly done. And hey, if they did a better job with that, maybe this would be um, a selling point to me, and would very much be a film. Hey, that may be worth watching or getting a thumbs up for me. But it's just poorly done, like the whole whodunit aspect. And of course, as I wrote down, if you have the DVD, just like the case, just look on the back because the guy who's the driller killer is on the back drilling someone. So yeah, there's no question who the driller killer is, and that's the friend Ken, um, played by Britton Fry. Yeah, blonde boy. Um, it's interesting with him when the film is going and you realize he's the driller killer. To steal a line from Ghostbusters, from Bill Murray, in my head, I'm like, yes, it's true. This man has no dick. But you come to realize, no, 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 he's got a dick. You touch the dick and you taste the drill. So that seems to get him enraged, I guess, when you are going to do that or about to do that. So yeah, not a good idea. And he also is killing in the name of his uncle, who was a cop, and he also molested him when he was a kid. And it appears he then just laughed about it, the uncle. So pretty creepy. It would make more sense maybe that this guy would then go kill his uncle, maybe, but it's a threadbare, thin. reasoning, it doesn't really quite work either. But that's his reasonings as to why he's going out and doing this. Now, uh, there is a hilarious death scene in this film where Juliet, so she's the one who's attracted to Ken, or they're, you know, um, going to get together, I guess, or whatever. But her death scene is hilarious because she dies by vibrator. Literally. Um, she's having a bath and a hand comes in and just drops a vibrator into the bath. And the vibrator was also found in a drawer in the bathroom. Okay, so hilarious, very funny. And yeah, and then to kind of reach the other side, there's kind of a poor death. And from what I read, this was like a must-have from Roger Corman. It had to be in the film. It was a death to Maria, played by Maria Ford, um, where the driller killers got her on the floor and she's in her negligee or sleeping attire, and he drills her to death. It's not a quick scene either. It's slow and certainly involves some more nudity in there. But her friends, her three friends, so not just one or two, but three of her friends stand off in the other room, don't make a sound, and just watch it all unfold. Nobody thought to maybe grab a knife from the kitchen or grab something to hit him over the head, try and prevent this from happening. They just watched it happen, and oh dear, that was pretty bad. Um, that really that we must have this in here. It kind of, well, it did. It ruined the scene, and yeah, it. So in the end, it's kind of a funny scene too, and not very realistic either. Um, now another character that shows up. There's a lot of characters in here, so you know the bodies are going to pile up, which is okay for slasher fans out there. But there's a character named Duncan. He's played by David Greenlee. He's definitely dorky, nerdy. Um, who knows? Maybe he's not a bad guy. Like maybe I could hang out with him. I don't know, but he looks like to me like Alex Lifeson from the band Rush. He really looks like him. So if he wanted to impress the ladies, I forget her name. There was one he just, blurts out, "I'd like to sleep with you," really to the one girl. But if he wanted to impress these ladies, he just needs to pull his guitar out and play some 2112 by Rush or something. That would work really well. Um, but yeah, but of course he whoop, dies as well, gets the drill to the gut when the driller killer comes over. And then there's Marta Kober. She plays the pizza delivery lady who comes over and delivers the pizza. Duncan and her, or it's Duncan that takes the pizza and he brings the pizza into the house. But she was in Friday the 13th Part 2. So this is the third victim or third female victim of Jason within the Slumber Party Massacre films at this point. So that's interesting as well. And then, of course, she's like walking, like she doesn't drive the pizza, she just walks the pizza to your house. Different method, really, of delivering pizza. I'm sure they don't have a 30 minutes or it's free thing going on with that. But when she's walking away down the street, she gets drilled to death as well. And then finally, in the cast as well is Hope Marie Carlton. She was in quite a few different horror films at this time, um, but she had it in her contract. She wasn't going to be nude in this one, but she was in other horror films like Ghoulies 3, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Dream Master. She was in those films as well. Um, so it's interesting that she's in this film as well. Kind of a Scream Queen, I guess, for sure, maybe. But there you have it. And the interiors of the house, I come to realize, found out was actually shot at Roger Corman's studio in Venice, California. So that's kind of funny. I could totally see that happening with Roger Corman. Anyway, to save a dollar, um, Mr. Corman, the legend, he would have no problem seeing that that happens to make the film. Yes. So there you go. And the body count of this film is like the original one, it's 12. So it's more than the last one. So, there's some deaths going on in this one. But in the end, I don't recommend it. This one, it's just things it's trying to accomplish. Oh, just poorly played out, not done very strongly, like the whole whodunit aspect, unfortunately. But there you go. That is Slumber Party Massacre 3. Now I'm gonna watch the remake. But I'm gonna watch it a couple times, so um my next review won't be that one, but at some point I'm gonna get on here and do um a review for the remake, the Slumber Party Massacre, which is like 3 or 4 years old, so much more modern. That'll be good to see. But until next time, enjoy your movie watching.